always had this internal struggle when growing up where someone would be like, what's your favorite subject? And I would be like, academically or...
My mom is Dominican, so I grew up around a lot of bachata and merengue, so I was always dancing at family gatherings.
I really found that my artistic discipline, playing the cello, has influenced my scientific discipline a lot.
Creativity is necessary for both dance and science. With dance, obviously you have to feel how is your body feeling in this moment, and then science isn't always a one-way street, so you have to think about multiple possibilities and kind of think ahead. I feel like in both ways I am pulling my creative side out.
Being artistic has given me the ability to make really nice diagrams of certain scientific processes.
You really have to spend a lot of time getting like the muscle memory down when you're practicing like a solo piece, and I found that it's very similar in science, that a lot of the innovation and a lot of the ideas that you have are really only meaningful after you spent a lot of time understanding the core kind of science and the core kind of research behind everything.
I'm a music minor and my instrument is voice. I think science helps you really find things that work for you and like address a problem in a different way, because there's so many different people researching the same thing, but they're all doing it like in their own way. And I feel like I've taken that with me as I approach music.
When it comes to performing experiments, I had to be very meticulous to detail. And so that also translates to how I do art.
I feel like it makes me a very calculated person, so I feel like I pay attention to close details, so I feel like it helps me get dance moves a little faster. I don't really like it being sloppy in the lab, and I don't like my dance to come off sloppy either, so I try to perfect both of those things.
I believe there's harmony in everything. Sometimes when I'm looking at how like research impacts clinical care, I think of how like funding also goes into clinical care and how all of these different aspects have to work together harmoniously for us to achieve that intervention.
UMBC really has so many resources to help students who want to facilitate different aspects of their interests. I do behavior work in my lab, and we have been using restraint as our stressful stimulus, but it wasn't showing to be effective. And so we wanted to use something different. However, to do that, you kind of have to buy an apparatus, and that was not something that was feasible for us. So I decided, why not create our own? And then I learned how to do CAD to actually render it. And then I learned how to 3D print it at the library. And I really loved to be able to do that in my lab and then actually use it to run our experiment more effectively.
I love having the balance that art brings into my life. When in academic settings and performing experiments, it can be really stressful. And so having this art form where it's separate and where I can be free, it really helps me be grounded and come to lab refreshed.
Creativity that comes from a very sound foundation of discipline is something that is translatable pretty much anywhere.